Okay, here we go. A car has a value of 23,000. It depreciates 20% per year. Watch this. Calculate the value of the car at the end of the 2 years. On our previous exam that I did last week, it was only at the end of 1 year. I find that 2 marks is not enough for this much work, in my opinion. But we're going to go ahead and do that. 23,000 times 0.20. Let's go ahead and figure this out. 4,600 lost the first year. Go minus 4,600. $18,400. We'll multiply that by 0.20. That's 3,680. So that's lost the second year. So at the end of the second year, we'll find that by subtracting that loss. 14,720. That's what it is. I showed you a shortcut, but I don't know if you remember that. I won't go into the shortcut right now. All right, keep going. 4 marks for this one. SAR wants to buy a new car for $23,500 after taxes. So taxes are already included here, okay guys? Don't add taxes when it says after taxes. He gets a 4-year loan. It's probably important, so I'm going to go with that. 4-year loan. The interest rate is 6.75. Calculate the amount of interest paid in the first month. Warning, warning, right? Interest paid on the first month. That is what? Lowercase I. I gave you that formula. And it's loan times interest rate divided by 100. All of that will be divided by 12 because of the first month. In this case, this is your loan here. Because there is no down payment mentioned, right? No down. So normally, yeah, we would take the price of the car after tax, take away any down payment, and that would be our loan. In this case, there is no down payment, so all of it is the loan. So we go 23,500, and here you have to be careful. I will divide that by 100 already. That's 0.675. Stop me. Not. It's 0.0675. It makes a big difference. So just make sure you use your calculator the day of. Okay. So 23,500 times 0.0675. I'm going to hit an equals there, and I can divide that by 12. So that's 132.19 dollars. And it should always be, well, most likely be a smaller amount, not a very big amount, because remember, it's just for the first month. Okay. SAR's monthly car payment is $560.01. So this is already someone calculated the payment for you. Calculate the amount of interest paid over the life of the loan. Okay, so this is interest paid over the life of the loan. That should indicate to you that this is not first month, this is the total interest paid. This is TI. TI calls for payment times 12 times years minus the loan. That's how you find the interest paid. This part right here is called total paid to the bank. Let's go a little further here. So it's 560.01 times 12 times 4 minus 23,500. Let's figure that out. So that's 26,880.48 minus 23. So I paid, according to my calculations here, $3,380 and 48 cents. It's a dollar amount, so make sure you have that and you circle, and there you have it. Good to go? All right, next. Oh, tables. Question 15. 4 marks. That's a lot of marks here. So there must be a lot of things going on here because they do give marks for specific things. Jersey wants to buy a used car from her friend, Jack. Okay. The price of the car is $7,000. She needs to fix a few things on the car. So here's the summary. Oh yeah, this is a lot of the book value. I better grab my highlighter here. It's a used car from her friend Jack, so we know it's used private. The price of the car is $7 grand. There's a bunch of things that need to be done. That'd be parts and labor. The book value is $5,000. She gets a lien search for $18. $40 safety before taxes. Calculate the total tax she will have to pay for the car. Do you read that? Calculate the total tax, not the total after taxes. That is one thing that threw a lot of students off this year. Okay, so how are we going to do that? I'm going to start with use private, and I'm going to break it down. So this is the price plus price slash book times 0.07 plus safety times 1.05 plus parts and labor times 1.12 plus lien, right? That is the use private component. So watch what we're going to do. Tax only. I'm going to cross this off. Watch. This is, no, I won't need this. I just need this part right here. So I'm actually going to go, is the book greater? The price. So the book value is just for looks in this one. I'm going to say greater. So this one can be scratched. So I'm just going to say 7,000 times 0.07. That is the PST part. So that would give me the PST taxes. Plus, when it comes to safety, should I multiply by 1.05 here? And the answer is no. You're only going to multiply by 0.05. You only want the GST that you pay on the safety, because all we're interested in is the taxes. Plus parts and labor, whatever that is, we're going to multiply by 0.12. Is the lien going to matter to us? There are no taxes on that, so for this you can just get rid of it. Parts and labor, let's figure that out. This is, we can do mental math on this, right? 610. So we're going to go 610 times that. This is going to give us our taxes. So 7,000 times 0.07, 490. 40 times 0.05. Oops. That's 0.5. That's 50% tax. That's not good. There you go. $2. And then 610 times 0.12, 73.20. So there every once in a while there are questions where they push you to the limit, like they want to really know. So they have a range of difficulty, right? 490 plus 2 plus 73.20. So it's 565. I believe when they did this question, a lot of students just figured out the total, like the total including all of these components. I think you still got 3 out of 4, I think, as long as you applied the correct taxes, but I would have to check my notes on that. Yeah, here it says note to marker. If you just calculated the total, it would be 3 marks, 3 out of 4. Yeah, because you still know what you're doing, right? Like you're still applying the right amount of tax. And so, okay, next, a retired couple drives 500 kilometers each month to go to the dog park, the grocery store, the mall. State the type of car insurance their agent would recommend. Car insurance. So you have a choice: all-purpose, leisure, or layup. Well, layup is not an option. You need to drive around, right? Leisure, what would you say? I'm actually dog park, grocery store, and the mall. All of these are like things you do every once in a while. It's not like if you go to work every day, you definitely cannot pick leisure. If you're using it to go to work every day or school every day, you cannot pick leisure. So here I think leisure is fine. And I think all purpose would also have been. Okay, let's see my notes here. Pleasure is the correct answer. Leisure. No to marker. Award 1 if student refers to pleasure. Yeah. Pleasure is also acceptable. Pleasure or leisure is I find that they threw students off with the 500 kilometers. They should have left that out because I would have to check what the allowance is, but that's actually a lot. 500 kilometers, that's a lot. But sometimes there are the ones that are borderline. So just read carefully and try your best, but don't leave it blank. Next. Mabon was told by a dealership that his new car would use this much, and this new, in reality, the car uses 8 instead of 5.5. Calculate how much more fuel is expected. Can I show you a shortcut here? Because I know this was on the review. When you have 2 different fuel economies, subtract. Okay, difference is 8 liters minus 5.5 liters. You want to know, like, what is the difference between the two? That's 2.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's the difference there. So when you want to figure out, it's like, well, if there's a 2.5 liter per 100 kilometer difference, well, how much would that amount to in terms of liters for a distance of 1,500 kilometers? Like you're gonna figure out how many more liters am I gonna use. The answer is it's 2.5 liters more per 100 kilometers, but we want to know over the long run. Please show the work here. Okay, 1,500 times 2.5 divided by 100. That's 37.5 liters. That's the difference. That's how much more on this stretch you would need. 15 minutes, let's see. Let's keep going. There are different ways of doing it, but which letter is best here? Your car insurance premium is not affected by moving to the city from the country, changing the amount of deductible, being in a demerit position, changing the type of insurance. Your car insurance is not affected. Moving to the city from the country, that affects, right? Changing the amount of deductible, that definitely affects. Changing the type of insurance also affects. Being in the demerit position, yeah, like your demerit. So let me see here. What? Yeah, they do say C is the one, and I think I'll explain this. Your premium is still the same. Like if you look at your car, right, the premium stays the same, but you may pay more, you may pay extra because you're in a demerit situation. But the premium itself for that car is not changing. I find this not a good question. This is not a good question. They should have had something that's very obvious, because a lot of students would have been like, well, obviously, if you have demerits, you pay more. But this is where I would say try to rule out the one that isn't, right? Because we know that these ones change. This one, I guess, doesn't, according to them. Let's keep going. Well, yeah, we're going to finish this before the class ends. Good. This part, maybe even further. Jonas is purchasing a car, and so here are some details. Calculate the total cost of the car after taxes and financing. Guys, when it's like this, you got to use these numbers to come up with that. So the value of the car, taxes would have to be added, wouldn't you say? $29.90. A down payment, if you make a down payment, that actually takes away from the total cost of the car. And the cost of financing is going to be $18.40, so that you add. Sometimes I just want to know, you know, what comes into it, right? Okay. And now let's figure out what the answer is. 23,000 plus 29.90 minus 3,000 plus 18.40. It's 24,830. Okay, next. What's that? And car payments. So because this is already like the total, like this is total paid to the bank, basically this. What is each monthly payment? So you just go 24,830 divided by, in this case it's 48, because you made 48 payments to come up with this. So you just go divide that by 48. 517.29. All right, keep going. Wilma needs to get one of her car's headlights replaced. The headlight will cost $200. It will take 1.5 hours of labor to replace at a rate of $90 an hour. Calculate the total cost after taxes of replacing the headlight. So this is basically just parts and labor, guys. So we will say the headlight costs $200 plus, let's go 1.5 hours times 90. And then we'll add taxes to that later. So I'm just going to figure out what 1.5 times 90 is. That's 135. That's 335. And so it's 12% tax for parts and labor. So that's 375.20. 2 marks for that one. That's it for, or is there one more? Let's trade in, okay, let's stop that here.